Greetings, I'm Christelle Ellis and this is my video analysis of the New Yorker's for deBlasio TV ad featuring Dante. This video was from 2013 for Bill de Blasio's mayoral campaign for the mayor of New York City.
I want to tell you a little bit about Bill de Blasio.
Okay, obviously when you look at Dante, he doesn't fit the atypical mold of an offspring of a political candidate. He's not wearing a suit. His hair is not necessarily coiffed or groomed where it's slicked back. He's not well rehearsed, and he's definitely not standing by his father. He's in a kitchen, in casual clothing, having an afro, and just being chill. I think this particular method of being able to be approachable and relatable to the viewers worked in de Blasio's favor. You want to have people who are representing you be constituents and people that you can relate to. This is a concept that was referenced in the articles for our project, where the content should have, as Aristotle mentioned, an ethical, an emotional, or logical appeal. For ethics, he's going to reference hot-button topics that his father would like to cover during his mayoral campaign. The emotional appeal, those particular topics are affecting certain segments of New York City voters. And logic, you want to have someone who's going to represent you and what you hope would be covered in New York City administration.
He's the only Democrat with the guts to really break from the Bloomberg years. The only one who will raise taxes on the rich to fund early childhood and after-school programs. He's got the boldest plan to build affordable housing, and he's the only one who will end a stop-and-frisk era that unfairly targets people of color.
It's ironic and interesting that Dante would bring that issue up. If Dante de Blasio weren't who he was and no one knew who his father was, he could potentially be a victim of stop and frisk. A issue that still to this day in New York City is volatile at best. He could very well be one of those young men who could be just walking down the street, minding their business, and having a police officer ask them to step aside and show ID and potentially be frisked where they're looking for contraband, usually drugs or guns, seeing if the person has outstanding warrants and so forth. Of course, this particular issue could also be targeting young men who have nothing to hide, no contraband, and could be on their way to a job interview, running errands, or going to class. So, of course, this is another way to reach a segment of potential voters. You want someone who's looking out for you and potential issues like this that could impact your daily life.
Bill de Blasio will be a mayor for every New Yorker, no matter where they live or what they look like. And I'd say that even if he were my dad.
Of course, you have father and son walking down a Brooklyn street. His father was earlier speaking with constituents potentially in Brooklyn, and I think because this ad was filmed in Brooklyn, yet another way to reach voters by having a strong appeal, have Brooklyn pride. This is a guy that comes from our borough who could be representing us in administration and our values and what changes we'd like to see happening. And of course we saw Bill de Blasio's wife, Charlene, again, another person you wouldn't necessarily see in office, a petite African-American woman with locks, who I happen to think is awesome, but again, that's just my personal opinion. Nepotism aside, the tactics that were used in this campaign where you have a teenager who could be potentially reaching other teenagers and getting their parents to look at this ad and vote for de Blasio. Or potentially having older adults see this video and see, okay, you know what, he's reaching out to an older audience and middle-aged and women and Latinas and so forth. It's all of these particular concepts that help make this ad popular. That and the fact that Dante's afro and his appearance alone and his presence made it popular. Everybody liked him. Heck, everybody wanted to be his friend. And that particular nuance made it popular, made it work, and that's how his dad got elected.